Yeah, Gatsby as a replacement for Create React app. So who here used Create React app? Awesome. Who here migrated the plain React app to Gatsby? Nice. So, is it working? Hi, my name is Khaled. I'm a software developer at Contentful. You can call us Headless CMS, or we try to call ourselves as the content infrastructure for your Jamstack app. I run a weekly digest at learnjamstack.com, where I collect all the resources and then send you a newsletter. I'm also a big fan of open source and an Egghead IO instructor, so you can check me out on those links. I'm from this beautiful country. It's called Tunisia. And no, it's not Greece, it's Tunisia. And a fun fact is, like, the first episode of Star Wars was filmed in Tunisia, and also Tatooine is an actual city in Tunisia. So sorry if I ruined your childhood, but that's a fact. I work a lot with Gatsby, and this is how I hang out at my home. So my wife is actually using this to blackmail me. But can you guess how many pull requests I did from the swags? Last time I checked is 22. So yeah, you can see here I unlocked all the levels. So yay, now I can move to another project. So going back to the topic, when we say Gatsby as a replacement for Create React app, you might ask the question, but isn't Gatsby a static site generator? I would say yes and no, but it's more than that. It's actually, it gives you HTML to start with, so that's fine, that's the static part. But once it's loaded, it will rehydrate itself into a fully fledged Create React app. So you can hit other endpoints, you can do anything that React can do. So let's take a look at Create React app versus Gatsby. First thing I would say, they are similar. They work with React, so basically Create React app or Gatsby, they both use React as the rendering layer. They help you set up an application, so far so good. They remove much of the configuration headache, Webpack and splitting and other stuff, but however, Create React app might stop there, but Gatsby has more. So first thing is static rendering. So no server is required. Static rendering will happen at build time. You get all the static HTML. You can throw it into a CDN, and boom, you have a website. And that will lead to an SEO-friendly app. So just a bit higher, yeah. So your app will be SEO-friendly, and when a bot hits your app, will get some content. Cool. One other thing is automatic routing. Who here have had to deal with really nested and tough routes in React? Yeah, cool. I feel like home. Also, you might know this, but Gatsby uses rich routers, which is accessible. It will be you have accessible routes. By default, which is nice. At least it's one step further into more accessible app. I'm not saying you should stop here, but you should do more accessible stuff. And this is I feel it's sometimes underrated, but imagine grabbing all the source data to Gatsby and unify them under one layer, which is GraphQL, and you can query it everywhere. This is so powerful. And this feature by itself can be a $10 billion company. So yeah, we might have some startup ideas. Excellent ecosystem of plugins. I can bet a lunch about, you can pick a random service and you'll find 2 or 3 plugins. So this is very nice, and you can really enjoy the power of this ecosystem and the community behind it, because anyone who has a problem might fix it and release this awesome plugin that other people will release. But there's few gotchas like when you use Gatsby. So yes, it can be a replacement for Create React app, but you need to take care when it comes to few things. One thing is like the window object. So you can't just throw window left and right in your Gatsby app. You need to check for that. And it's a simple snippet. So you can have this binary. I copied this actually from the Gatsby documentation, so it's even there. You can copy paste it from there. You can check of the window, and then you need to go to your Gatsby node and add this snippet of code to actually at the build, when you're building HTML, that's like the node environment is not the browser. You need to nullify this module. And this also works for external libraries. So one example could be like the auth0 library. It relies on the window, and you need to do this. And here, the model name will be like auth0, and then the loader .null. So there, you can load your auth0. Another thing also, like, you don't have to use GraphQL when using Gatsby. This is very, like, something that some people will be complaining about. Like, oh, I don't want to learn GraphQL and to use Gatsby. But actually, you can use Gatsby without GraphQL if you don't want to. And here's an example. This is also from the Gatsby documentation. They have a really amazing documentation. So the idea here is to hit another endpoint or have your own collection and then pass all the data through the context object. The context object can like get anything. So you don't need to pass in, for example, an ID here and then inside the page query GraphQL something. GraphQL, and like you do a GraphQL query. And the takeaway for me was like, I haven't used Create React app for a long time now, and it doesn't feel weird because now Gatsby is my go-to. Building apps, building anything like a prototype, I'll just spin Gatsby, add few plugins, I have my app there, and I didn't reach a problem yet, but I might be wrong. If you think something different, let's talk about that. And thank you.